Stream Mike. Thank y'all for tuning in. We have a beautiful day here in Maryland, and I want to talk about some tree leaves. So let me pick up the bag here and see what kind of leaf I can pull on out. I got a whole branch here. Alrighty, do we know what this is? Okay, this here is a tulip tree. Now, when I picked this, it actually had petals around this there. It had petals. See that petal there? See that petal there? Well, it had these petals all the way around, sort of just like a tulip. And I guess that's where it gets its name, the tulip tree, because the flower that it blooms on it looks like a tulip. And once again, that tulip leaves were all the way around, and this was in the middle. This part here, towards the end of summer, becomes real hard, and these little pieces here flake off, and you'll see these little pieces flake off, and they'll come down like helicopters. Now, don't get it mixed up with like a silver maple or a red maple. These are shaped a little different, and these will go ahead and come on down, and the squirrels will, I believe, even eat these a little bit. And when you have beehives, honey beehives, when these blossom, and what happens is that the honeybees will go to whatever's blossoming. I mean, not everything blossoms the same time. So when this blossoms and you have beehives around, you can say the honey that the bees are gathering right now is tulip honey, and each honey batch kind of has its own taste. This tree here is the tallest tree in the state of Maryland. Down in North Carolina, it gets extremely tall, well over 100 feet and 10 feet around. And they use these trees when they harvest them. They use them for pallets, for furniture, and also not for tables and chairs. This is for furniture like couches and stuff that gets covered. And they even make perfume out of this. But you can see the leaf is real big. And one time, we had a lot of gypsy moths around here. For some reason, they didn't eat these trees. They just went for the oak trees. They didn't like us. But it's a very, very pretty leaf and a big leaf. It's a nice shade tree, but I wouldn't want it close to my house. I mean, a lot of people do, but they get wind broken real easy. They break easy, but they are a pretty tree, and they're well liked for the loggers because it's a good market for them. Alrighty, let me pull another leaf out of here. Okay, this is one of my favorite shade trees. Still has a little bit of rain on it from yesterday when I picked these. This is a red maple, and I like the red maple. It's one of my favorite trees. Yeah, all my maples I like. The one I like the most is a sugar maple, but the red maple is one of my favorites too, and it's a very good shade tree. And they grow slow, but they still make a good shade tree, and they're pretty strong. They don't break too easy, a little bit, but still safe enough to have around the house, I would say. And it's a real nice shade tree. And hopefully you can see that real good there. Here's another one of those petals that fell off the tulip tree. I'm trying to make it how it was. It was all the way around just like a tulip. Now the names that I'm giving you aren't the scientific names. I don't know the scientific names. I was told a couple times some of the names, scientific names, but there's no way I can remember them. Not a whole lot of people can. The only ones that can is like your foresters, and even they have to look them up. But these are the most well-known names that I'm giving you. Alright. think, I'm not too sure if this is like a butternut hickory or not, but it's definitely a hickory. And the squirrels love these nuts, and they're even good to eat for us. And I'll tell you a little story. The tree that I pulled this out of has two sassafras trees. They're real close to each other, and the sassafras is kind of half dead, and it has cavities in there. And in those cavities were some flying squirrels. And you don't see flying squirrels very much unless you're out at nighttime. If you're out at nighttime and it's a real still night, you'll hear those flying squirrels actually like chewing on the nuts. And when you hear things falling in the woods, nuts and acorns in the fall, could very well be those flying squirrels. But you know how those gray squirrels, you'll hear them over here chewing on a nut a little bit, and over here, if you guys go hunting, you hear them when you're hunting, they'll start barking at you. They'll start going. And you kind of don't like it because it's like, is this squirrel giving me away, or the deer knows something's up? But you'll hear one over there doing that, and then you'll hear a squirrel over here chewing on a nut. I don't care if he's chewing on a nut when I'm hunting, but when he starts barking, it's like, I don't know if he's giving me up or not, because he notices something different, and the deer pick up on that. But anyway, getting back to the flying squirrels, me and my son one time was out in the evening, late in the evening, not too late, but it was well after dark, and we were coming up from the pasture, and as we were locking up the fence, we heard something chewing in the tree, and right away I said, that's a flying squirrel. So my son went in the house and brought out a spotlight, and sure enough, there were about 4 of them up there in the tree just jumping around and playing, and you could see them flying from branch to branch, and it was really neat. You could see their webs in between their legs and their body, and I tell you, I haven't seen many flying squirrels. I only seen a few, and that was really neat seeing those. Alright, let's pull something else out of the bag here. Alrighty, here's a dogwood leaf, and a dogwood is a very dense hardwood, and it's heavy, and that's actually the same tree that the Lord was crucified on. And ever since the Lord has been crucified on the dogwood, from that time on, you'll never find a real big, tall dogwood from that time on. They are only small and not straight. And the blossoms that bloom on these dogwoods, if you look at them in the spring, they're actually shaped like a cross. And you got white dogwood, you got pink dogwood, and I've even seen them where one tree will have pink and white actually mixed. But that's a dogwood tree there, branch, or I'm sorry, a dogwood leaf. Alrighty, that is a sassafras. I just mentioned about that sassafras that had the cavities in it that the flying squirrels were in. But if you see a sassafras tree, they really smell good if you break the branches or the leaves. And you can also make like sassafras tea out of it. I think you take the roots and boil it. But actually, I'm going to rip this here. The reason why I'm ripping it is because I want to smell it. It has a real good smell to it, and that's called sassafras. Isn't it wonderful how the Lord gave us all these neat trees in the forest? I love nature. It gets me excited. Okay, here's one. Do we know what that is? That is a cherry leaf. Now, a cherry leaf is poisonous to cows and horses, but they're only poisonous when, say a tree falls over or the wind breaks a branch off. After they start to wilt, I don't know, a couple hours after that, when they start wilting, if a cow or a horse eats it, it actually becomes a poison to them and it will kill them. I don't know exactly what it does to them, but I guarantee you it will kill them. But I'm sure they would have to eat a good amount. But now, if a tree blows a tree over or a branch out and they eat it right away before it wilts, it's okay. Or if they go ahead and eat it right off the tree, it's just when it starts to wilt is when it can kill them. And this is a very well piece of wood that can be harvested by the foresters for many reasons, for tables and chairs. And it's also a good firewood because it's really a nice, solid, good smelling wood. But you can make a lot of nice furniture out of that. Alright, let me see what else is in here. This is like a grab bag. Alright. Now here's a hard one. Does anyone know what this is? Well, if anybody said American chestnut, you're right. Now, I don't know exactly when this happened, but I want to say, don't hold me to it, but probably like around the turn of the century, give or take, they got a disease called the chestnut blight, and it killed out all these American chestnut trees. And these trees, it's a shame because they gave off a large nut, and we ate them, and the deer, because it was a soft nut, and the squirrels, and this put tremendous amounts of feed into our forest that now is gone. But what they have done is introduced a tree that is, I don't know, 90, 95, or maybe even 99% American chestnut. And the other part of it is bred with, I think it's a Chinese chestnut. And they're putting them back in the forest and starting to get them started because they won't get the blight. Now, I was told when I was a kid, now we're going back, 45 years ago, give or take, that you could still come across these stumps in the woods. And you could also come across the big sinkholes where the stumps were, because these were large trees. The stump rots out and creates a hole. Well, some of those big holes, when you're hunting in the mountains, and some of those big holes you come by might be an old chestnut stump that rotted out, and who knows, there still could be maybe some of that wood laying around. And back then, it was really a nice straight wood, and they would also use it for building barns and framing out houses. And I think they would use it for framing out houses. I'm not too sure, but I know that they used them for barns. And a lot of times now, when these old barns get old, somebody will offer the owner of these barns that, if they're getting ready to fall down, can they remove them? Because they'll take that old American chestnut wood out and they'll use that for fixture frames or maybe rebuilding another barn. But what a loss, and pray to God that comes back. And that's really a nice wood, that trees that we can get back. Over the years I've seen gypsy moths come in to our forest and did a number on them, but on the hardwoods, the oaks, your red oaks and white oaks and so on and so on, but they rebound back. But the problem that we're having now is the ash beetle, and they're killing a lot of ash woods, or a lot of ash trees, I should say. But we always gotta be conscientious of our forests to make sure that they maintain strong and healthy, because we get a lot of bugs that aren't even native to here that attack our trees. But I guess that's about it for today. I hope everybody liked the talking about the leaves and the trees and all. I know I love talking about all that stuff. It's neat to go into the forest and look around have some knowledge of the surrounding of trees around me, what they're used for, and how they help the wildlife and us. And I hope everybody enjoyed that. Once again, I want to thank everybody for watching. I want everybody to have a wonderful day. And God bless summer, since we're getting close to summer here. And just remember, be someone important, be yourself. Until next time, God bless. See ya.